The market is not saturated, your mind is. In this video, I am showing you exactly what I did, what I used, and how I turned $165 into multiple six-figure. This is the very first bed I bought, and that was on the the 2nd of January 2019. I was a couple of months in. I bought this bed because I knew I wanted to do offer mobile services, because that was the same thing I did back home. I had two jobs back then, and I always wanted to I wanted to get back into offering services at home, eventually have my own business again. The two jobs allowed me to be able to put some money aside, and because you can't say that you start from zero. And also for me, it's never really zero, because I started from experience. I built from experience. My past experience, remember, I've been doing this for 16 years now. So I was like, okay, I've got the skills. Now I just need the tools. I looked up online where I could find a portable massage bed. I got this one. I didn't know where else to buy a bed. Wasn't the greatest or the best bed, but I loved it because it had this part here where you could lift the bed rest up, like the backrest. And the game plan was that, okay, I was going to start with massages, mani and pedi, and I could do the mani pedi on the chair like this. So the moment I bought that, hang on, let me just do this. There we go. The moment I got the bed, what I got next was a set of towels. In South Africa, we don't really use bed sheets. We use towel, and there's a particular way on how you put the towel. And I love the fact that there was a hole there, because the bed I had in South Africa was the same as well. Put that over there. And then you put this here. And then you have two larger towels to cover the client. Obviously, the other one is still at the clinic. This was the best value for money I ever bought. These towels have been with me since 2019, probably 18. And they still look good. Whereas some other towels I bought merely 2 years ago, they're falling apart, they have holes. So this was the best value for money. I'm not exactly sure how much I bought this for, but I'll find the receipt and I'll screenshot the price. Then next thing I bought was bed sheet, because again, I did not know where to get it from. I got one from Marketplace. I'm a very sentimental person, so I always like keeping old stuff. So I'm just gonna cover the bed here. Obviously the bed comes with a head rest, which I don't have right now. It's somewhere in the house. A sheet, so there's a fitted sheet, the sheet to cover the client, and then there is the headrest cover. I'm just gonna put this here, and I'll eventually show you the full setup at some point in time. Now, what was I saying? So this is how I started. Bed was the first game of action, because I was planning on offering massage services. Mani pedi, I could just put that in a backpack and travel, and have my nail polish, have my lamp, and that was like pretty cool. What else? Advertising, how to actually get clients. I arrived there, I did not know anybody, and I had to find something similar to what I was using back home, and that's when I stumbled on Kijiji. Kijiji is how I ended up finding the place where I stayed when I arrived. It was also how I ended up finding my first client. Actually, my very first client, it was a mani pedicure client that I got. And then I got another manicure pedicure client. I went to a house, and then she turned into a massage client. And from there on, I realized there was more requests for massages. And the comment was like, oh my God, this is so good, this is great. And because I had studied abroad, I noticed that here people wanted insurance receipt. And from what I had understood was that I needed to have to redo my training here to be able to offer insurance receipt. And there was no way that I was going to pay $6,000 just to learn one technique on massage when I know more than five. I was like, no, I'm not doing this. So as a result, I was charging $30, only $30 for a massage. I look back, I'm like, Leticia, what were you thinking? And here's my reasoning behind that. I had jobs that would pay me. One was minimum wage, one was a little bit higher, and then I was getting tips. I was like, okay, this is not so bad. So if I'm making $30 per hour, that's more than what I'm getting paid. Plus, I am getting paid, money, and I can use that as, do extra stuff with that. But the thing I encountered was that people back then did not want me to travel to them. They're like, no, I don't want you to come to my house. I want to come to your house. And I was like, okay. So business only started picking up after the pandemic. The requests soared, and this is why I was like, okay, there's actually a business in here. I can actually make something out of there. Now, coming back to how I stretched that $165, you need three things. You need to use what you already have. You need to learn how to acquire a client. And then two, you need to get to work. A lot of people want just things to be handed to them, and that's just not how it works. I look at some people, I help them with the content creation, the social media. I put everything on a sheet. All they have to do is copy and paste. And guess what? They still don't do it. I recently gave a masterclass regarding running ads, and I showed them what they needed to do, how they needed to connect their account, how they needed to install the pixel. Do you think they did some? Probably of all the people that attended, only one person took actionable step and got in to get the result. Everybody else was like, oh, but you know what? It would actually be nice if we had an in-person class. So I'm sure even with the in-person class, they'll still expect for somebody to do it for them. This is why knowing your why is super important. Your why is what drives you forward. Is what's going to lead you to take action. And this is how, in my case, I took that $165 and turn it into multiple six figures. You ask me how I did that. Hey, now I've come to realize that running ads is what is important. But before I even knew how to run ads, it was hit and miss. I solely relied on word of mouth. Word of mouth. This one client bought another client. Two clients, we have pamper party at the house. One client, we have like 5 other people. I'll be doing pamper party at the house. So I work Monday to 7 just to put my name out there. And then people started referring me that I kept on putting ads on Kijiji back at the time. Why I say back at the time is because right now I feel like Kijiji does not work. The last time I tried putting an ad on it, or a post or a classified, whatever you want to call it, they requested that I pay. I did, but I felt like I did not get any client out of that. And this Nextdoor that also came up quite recently, I haven't gotten any client call me from that. I have not put any money on that platform because I feel like I don't understand it. I don't have control. So I'll rather stick to what I know. So this is why I turned to Meta ads and Google ads. And right now, this is how I've been getting my client. People just don't know you exist. And if you want to make money, if you want to make a certain, pocket money, whatever, you have to work from the end back to the beginning. So you have to start with the end in mind first. I saw the other day on TikTok, somebody say, my expenses are $10,000. Guys, tell me how I can make $10,000, because right now I don't know. I can tell you a couple of ways of making $10,000 as a service provider. But before I go further and explain that, you have to know one thing. There is a difference with somebody doing something because they love it, and then the next person doing something because they want the money. I've had some people come and clean my house, and I'm like, oh my God, I already have to pre-clean before they arrive. And by the time they're gone, you can't even tell that something was done. You can't tell that something was done. And that's the same thing with running a business, doing service-based. So with a service-based business in the aesthetics field, for example, because this channel is all about behind the scene with Leticia, showing you how I run my aesthetic practice or how I grew it, how I built it from the ground up. Now, services you can do: waxing, very profitable, low cost, very profitable. The only upfront money that you have to put is where you have to spend on learning how to wax. And what I've learned in Montreal is most employers, they don't need you to be an esthetician. You can just go and take a 2-day course. Even though a 2-day course is not enough, I think 2 weeks will be more appropriate. Go take a course, wax. Like, you want volume. You want to wax as many people as possible. You want to get fast, right? And then that's where the money will start rolling in. And that's something that you can do mobile. You don't even need a bed, depending on what the client is waxing. But if the client has space, you have a car, definitely invest in a portable bed. So the number one service that is low cost, that has a low barrier of entry, is waxing. Number two, I'll say manicure and pedicure. Unfortunately, in Montreal, I've noticed a lot of people don't like touching feet. So if that's one of you, probably stick with manicures. Now, the best way to get in, what I recommend you do, go buy directly from the supplier. For example, there's Biosculpture. Yes, Biosculpture. They sell a kit. They also have courses. Yes, it is a little bit on the higher side, but you do get your money back. You do get to make your money back. People love doing the nails because this is what people see. I've noticed people would rather invest in the nails than invest in the feet. Even though in my case, at my clinic, I do more pedicure than manicure, only because I don't do extension, I don't do nail art, and it just takes way too long. And this year, my apprentice, my staff are the one that's going to be doing pedicure. So we talked about waxing, we talked about pedicure, and then massages, massage therapy. If you can go and learn to become a massage therapist, that's going to be good. Because in Montreal, what I've noticed is that people only spend money because they know they're going to be reimbursed. The only reason why massages was number one was because people get the insurance receipt and they get reimbursed. And almost everybody, have good insurances. And I was like, okay, sure, no problem. Let's do this. But the only thing with that is when you start out, the minimum training hours is 400 hours. Full-time, that's about 6 months. You can do an accelerated course because I've seen that out there, but how good of a massage therapist you are, it's going to depend on your why and how much work you're going to put in. The thing with massages is the more you massage, the better you get at it. And you want to shadow somebody. Because what I've learned with my 2 staff is that the more we did couple massage, the better they got at massaging. The more I sat in the room and told them, hey, do this, don't do that, slow down, do this movement like this instead of this, that's when they got better. So taking an online course and then thinking that at the end of the course you're going to be, maybe you're a unicorn. Maybe you're a unicorn. If you decide to go that route, my advice to you is get into a spa. Because that's where they have a lot of volume, and what you need is volume. To gain confidence in yourself, to get faster, to learn how to organize yourself. And I don't know, maybe you can get a client or 2 from there, even though that's not something I encourage. I've always built my clientele from scratch. Go that way. So those are the 3 services that will definitely help you reach those $10,000 if that's what you want to make. If that seems unattainable and unachievable for you, you can start small. Just see how much are your expenses, like how much you need to live. Is it $2,000? Is it $3,000? Is it $4,000? The moment you have that, then you decide how many clients can you see. I remember when I started, I said I just wanted 10 clients who spend $300 with me, and a lot of people say I was crazy. But for me, how I was looking at it is like I was going to do facials, I was going to do mani-pedi, I was going to do massages. So if people did all of that, I mean, that's easily $300. Even though now, maybe I have some clients that spend more than that per month. Maybe I have some that spend less. That's not the point of the matter. But what I'm trying to explain to you with this is that you can definitely make a good living out of doing this job, and that the market is not saturated. Now, if you have any question, drop them in the comment below and I'll address it in my next video. Until then, thank you for watching Behind the Scene with Laetitia. I am the founder of Homéostase Clinique Bien-être. See you at the next video.